So the reason I got this specifically because the actual description of Mr. Rofkanen's Despot bow is precisely the same proportions as what the Sologe Tacticorum gives to the typical cataphract Byzantine bow of the early 10th century. So I absolutely jumped at the chance. Now the thing that really surprised me is that I'm very used to using larger bows that have a lot more material in them. In this case, I'm actually very surprised at how extremely light this is. It's going to be a pretty snappy release of the bow hand. And so we'll see that. I'm going to shoot from very close range first, see the effects. All right. Oh, that's a very snappy release. It's going to take some getting used to, obviously. Let's see. So this is actually what I think, is that because these bows were so, these horseback bows were so small, I think that the actual likelihood of more vertical kind of post-release mechanic movements for Byzantine bows would have been very viable because of the actual mechanical advantage you have over this bow as compared to larger ones. What really gets to me is the fact that I'm not really used to the short draw length. I tend to have really longer draw lengths, up to 32 inches. But in any case, because right now my arrows are penetrating at an angle in this case. But I'm going to try this bow out with different releases and see how well I can do it. This is my first time ever shooting this, so I just have to understand it. I'm using this the Byzantine thumb ring. Really, it should be called Roman, but I'm using the Byzantine archetypal thumb ring, which is visor shaped. And this variety, these are plastics. So I'm kind of worried that they might snap with higher draw weights. There you go. But it's going to take some getting used to. And it's definitely going to take some training to use the Persian manner in this time. And I'm going to do this with naked fingers because that's honestly how I prefer to shoot my bows. I'm going to keep my palm away so that way I don't potentially slap my wrist. This is a smaller bow, so it'll tend to do that. Well, nonetheless, I'm having a lot of fun. It shoots very well. Use the Olympic style. Is that because of these short limbs, this movement can be much more accommodating. So even if I'm actually canting the bow, I can actually just move it out underneath the armpit, and it's not going to get in the way of anything. So use the Olympic style. Smaller bows were used in this case because I have a bunch of gear on, and I don't want the release to actually get in the way of anything, nor do I want anything else to get in the way of it. So let's see at a distance. I'm going to aim for the round target that I put in front because it's a heavier bow, so I want a little bit more resistance behind it. Not trained up. Not me. It definitely packs a punch to it. That much can be said. So with this kind of bow, you can definitely push out, have an anchor point with your hand. In fact, I'd say it's better to anchor with the hand as opposed to anything else. Oh, that was a stable shot. All right, so let's use the Olympic style in this case, which is to use the 3 fingers and take it to the neck as close as you can. Ooh. Ooh. It's a little high. That was better. It's going to be a while before I establish any sort of training up with rapid shooting. You have to recognize that I had a 45-pound bow. I did have a 60-pound bow, the Scythian. You've seen it in a couple of my videos, but that was also starting to begin to kind of creak and crack. So I didn't want to use that. I think that thing would explode on me and maybe injuring myself. I didn't want to do that. Coming up from 45 pounds to 80 pounds, I'm strong enough to do it, but like actually utilizing it functionally is very difficult for me at this time. My first impressions of this are very favorable. I cannot recommend bows made by Mr. Rovkanen enough. It's just absolutely a beautiful bow. So you have like flats, yeah. This is real handiwork, man. Oh shit! Figured that was gonna happen. Figured that was gonna happen. Absolutely knew that was gonna happen. I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I did this. I should have just shot naked dumb. 47 inches, 80 at 28. Could definitely be better at this. I could definitely get more used to this. But this is such a radically different bow than what I'm used to. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful creation. The leather grip here obviously gives your hand some traction, so it's not just slipping off all the time. And clearly here we have the ability to use this. When you shoot, obviously it's gonna take a little bit of stitching, a little bit of scraping on this leather. And that's precisely what it's for, so it doesn't scrape the wood. It is gonna take me doing some training. Whenever you get a new bow that's so different, it's gonna take some training to get used to. But nonetheless, just gorgeous work, man. Yeah. But this is precisely what I'm looking for. It's 47 inches, basically right in between the ranges for the Byzantine horseback bow. And it is double arched, which is shown in a lot of iconography. And has flat edges, so a lot of the power actually comes from the limbs themselves, as well as the fact that it's also reflexed, which the sources do talk about that as well. So all in all, this Serbian horseback bow is perfect for Byzantine bowmanship as well. Generally, bows in the Balkans have a very similar archetype to them. They're all kind of kindred cousins in a way. Incredibly wieldy and great. I just need to get used to it. So it's going to be a lot of training, a lot of time before you see me start utilizing it effectively. And hopefully I'll have a thumb ring that doesn't break on me. I would just absolutely love it when all my thumb rings just stop breaking on me just because they're plastic.